Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Grace, Peace, and Balance radio show with Gabi Abdelkadir. I hope you all have been staying safe and you're healthy and you're happy. And today is episode 73, and I have an incredible young lady for you today. She is a treat, and I'm going to read you her bio. Her name is Michele Ogston. She is an empowerment and transformational coach. She holds certifications as an intuitive life coach and is a certified meditation and mindfulness teacher. She works with her empath and like-minded people to empower them to break the patterns that have been holding them back to create an authentic life filled with purpose and meaning. Boy, I love that. Her mission is to spread the word that you are just one decision away from changing your life. She truly believes life isn't about being happy all the time, but about learning how to navigate the more challenging times a little easier. Oof, I'm getting emotional.
Oh, okay.
After experiencing her, because challenges, talk about it. After experiencing her own loss through the death of loved ones and a painful divorce, she decided to turn her pain into passion and helps people navigate life a little easier. Michele is an executive contributor for Brainz magazine and is dedicated to serving her clients on a one-on-one basis. She facilitates the Soul's Assignment Club, a weekly group for people who feel like they were called upon to do more with their life. She runs the Empath Support Group, where she provides a safe place for empaths to find comradery so they can learn and share with each other. She owns Cloud9 Life Coaching in Northern California, where she lives with her husband, children, and fur babies. Michele, I can't wait to hear from you today. So welcome to my podcast.
Thank you, Gabby. I love being here with you. You have such great energy, so it's great.
Thank
We
you.
get to sit in it for a while. It'll be lovely. You
I
got so
know.
emotional when you were
I
talking.
know, because I'm one of those people who've been through so many challenges in my life, and yet you never know, because I'm always like ready for a laugh. I'm always ready for a good time. I am always, and it takes a long time for me to open up to talk about them. So I have seen the good, the bad, the ugly, name it, in my life. So I don't know, that particular sentence just I felt it in my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell it really resonated with you.
Yeah, seriously. Like, anyway, but yeah, let's talk about you. It's all about you today. Talk to me about you growing up and about your life a little bit.
Okay, so I'm actually born and raised in Northern California, so I haven't really left. I've stayed here. I love it here. I was raised both Catholic and Jewish, so I had a very religious upbringing. That really didn't serve me well. I was very ostracized. Ostracized? I can't say that word today.
Ostracized.
It's not rolling off my tongue today. Where I was shunned from the Catholic Church because my parents were divorced, so I was told I was going to hell all the time. And then, on the Jewish side, I wasn't really accepted because my mom was raising me very Catholic. So I felt very alone a lot of the time, and plus I just didn't really subscribe to everything that was going on in the church. So I was lucky that, at 16 in the Catholic religion, you need to be confirmed, where you devote yourself to the religion.
Yeah.
And thank God I had a mother who just said, it's okay. Because I begged her, please don't make me have to get confirmed. And we went out and found this wonderful woman. Her name was Betty Bethards, and she was this mystic healer. I went to one of her workshops, I think, and it was the first time I ever did a guided meditation, and it completely changed my life. So from 16 to 24, I studied intuitive practices and spirituality on a completely different realm. So I got to learn about all the different types of religion, which really broadened my horizon, because I had been very, I've been indoctrinated in a certain way. So I got to learn about all these different religions. It was such a beautiful time in my life, which really sort of shaped the foundation for becoming a coach.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my childhood. I've had a traumatic childhood though as well, so we can exchange trauma stories.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, so for me also, my parents had different religions as well. My dad was Turkish, my mom was Ethiopian, so they're both different religions. But I ended up following my mom's because my parents were divorced at the age when I was about 5.5. So my mom scooped me and my brother and went to Ethiopia, and then she had me baptized. And I grew up in a Catholic school, at least for the first 6 years of my life. And uh, but you know what? Coming from two different religions, two different cultures, I think it helped me become more open-minded.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But I think my mom was a very fanatic Orthodox. And I think if she was, may she rest in peace, if she was alive today and she sees me the way I meditate, she probably would have fainted because she would have thought like I became a Buddhist or something like that, because it was like, you're Orthodox, you go to church, you have the Bible, you read the Bible, that's all you
Yeah.
do. Like, yeah, anyway, but it made me like, I don't know, I am sure that helped you also become more open-minded to other things that are
It
spiritual,
did.
meditation being one of them, right?
Absolutely. And you know, what I learned really through teaching was that prayer is a form of meditation. You know, I
Yes.
think sometimes we use the word meditation and we think of like crystals and candles and we're in a field oming out somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's really not that at all. And it really applies to the person and individualizing your meditation practice. And so for some people that's prayer, and I think that's beautiful.
It is.
So yes, I feel like being raised with two different religions really did open my horizon to there's something more than just Catholicism, and there's just
Yeah.
something more than Judaism. And so,
Yeah.
you know, studying about Buddhism and stuff, it was fantastic. I could have like had a minor in theology. I never finished college, but I think I would have majored in like 20 things because I'm so fascinated.
Yeah.
I have very much a squirrel mentality. I just want to learn everything. So I like commit and learn
Yeah.
and to so many
Yeah.
different avenues. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, me too. I didn't do college, but I am huge into leadership. I'm huge into spirituality, into personal growth and things like that. But you don't need a college degree for you to become who you're supposed to become,
Right.
to
This is
find your
very true.
purpose. Yeah. So yeah. So that's that. And then okay, 26, then what happened? You got married?
I did get married. I had a child. I actually had a child before I was married. So
Okay.
I was actually in an abusive relationship and
Mm.
I left. Yay, I left.
Mm.
But I got married. She was 6 months old when I got married at that time, and spent many years in my marriage. I was married we dated for 9 years, and then we were married for another nine. So we were together for 18 years. And that was a very, there was moments of it that were beautiful. And my ex-husband was an amazing man. There was nothing wrong with him on any level. And I had a lot of guilt and a lot of shame over not being happy. I had beautiful children. I had, you know, a husband and we were living a nice life and I was just not happy. And
Mhm.
I was doing all the things you are told to do. You know, I worked out, I was reading, I was meditating, I was doing a lot of personal growth, and I was still very, very unhappy. And it really wasn't until I had an experience where I was part of the PTA, you know, with my children,
Mhm.
and I had dropped my kids off at school and came home. Luckily, I work from home. So I came home and we got this mass text message that went out that one of the mothers from our PTA had killed herself. She dropped her kids off
Oh
at her
my
school
goodness.
and she killed herself. And I sat on the edge of my bed that day. And I mean, I was so depressed at this point. So I was very unhappy to the point of being very depressed. And I thought, could that be me? Like, could I make that decision? I had kids, she had kids. You know, we think, oh, well, we would never do that, but people do.
Yeah.
And I had lost somebody to suicide about 15 years prior to that, somebody very, very close to me.
Mhm.
And I knew that depression was a very slippery slope. So it was that moment that changed my life. I picked up the phone, I called my therapist, started therapy again, started working with coaches. And that is why my message is you are one decision away from changing your whole life.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this. Like
Yeah.
you make one decision and you might not be here. That one decision changed both of those people's lives, and my one decision really took me down a different path where I'm here today. So that is my big mission, and I'm
Yeah.
a huge proponent of mental health and personal growth.
Me too. Trust me, it's a subject close to my heart, close to home for me too. So I don't think people really understand or appreciate the seriousness of mental health. I don't think so, because I see a lot of people making fun of other kids or other people if someone goes quiet, or what's wrong with her, or what's wrong with him. If someone is like being out of character, going out of character, don't you think like, oh, something is that maybe I should be there for this person, maybe I should just say hello, and if they want to talk or something like that? They don't. A lot of people are just completely out of it. Anyway, it just really upsets me. But you can only educate as much as you can. It's a choice they have to make, like to be understanding. So anyway, and then that's when you decided you wanted to divorce, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So in that, I did decide to get divorced, and start a new life and let go of the shame, lean into vulnerability. That's my other message. And really develop a life that I feel is very authentic. I am extremely happy. And I say that because I have learned how to navigate between being very happy and content,
Yeah.
and dealing with moments when I'm not. So when I say I'm extremely happy, it does not mean that I don't have days where I'm like, what am I doing? Like I have PTSD. I have days where like I don't feel 100%.
Yeah.
And so what I've learned is tools to help me navigate when I'm in that. And that's why I say I want to help you have tools so that when you have those days where you're just not feeling 100%, that you know how to navigate and what's going on and how to explore that.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you kind of dip back and forth between being very content and being in something that you have to grow, right? Because we're
Yeah.
human. So we're going to be
Yeah.
growing all the time.
Oh yeah. We're gonna, yeah, it's a learning. So when you feel like you wake up one day, you asking yourself, like, what am I doing? And you're not in that best place. What is the thing that you do that immediately switches you back to the Michele Ogston, the leader,
That's a very
the
that's a
empath?
very That's a very good question. Typically what I do if I'm really feeling off,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I've done a lot of personal growth work. For me, I know that I try to break it down very simply first. And
Mm-hmm.
so I will use something that's called HALT. It's HALT,
Mm-hmm.
and that stands for, am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? So
Oh
I
my
kind of
God,
do this
I
like,
gotta write that down.
write
Wait.
it down. Everybody write it down.
I know,
I
eh?
actually keep this on my stove, you guys. I wish I could like take you to my stove right now because I keep this on my stove for my kids too. Because oftentimes we overcomplicate it. We think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's just some big thing, and I need to find my life purpose, and that's why I'm so down today. And sometimes it's really just that I'm hungry and I forgot to eat breakfast today, and or I'm angry something happened, or I'm lonely and I need to reach out to a girlfriend and call and say, hey, what's up? Or maybe I need to see my husband and get a hug, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I just need a nap. Like sometimes I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Like for me, tired is my kryptonite. When I'm tired, I'm like, oh, I just don't feel my best at all when I'm tired. Some people can push through. I'm not that person. When I'm tired, I'm like, oh, time out.
Yeah, same here. Like I take a nap, like, but I use in like my headset and meditation. I like guided
Mm.
meditation. So, and then halfway through the meditation, I'm out for about an hour, like completely, I fall asleep.
Oh
But,
my gosh, that's
but yeah, that's a good way. So, what is the T for again? Hungry,
tired,
only tired.
tired,
That
hungry,
is
angry.
such a good. My goodness, that's what I'm gonna start asking myself going forward.
Well, it's an easy one because
Yeah.
sometimes it is just something very simple. And then like if that doesn't work, let's just say I realize it's one of those things that I still feel like I'm in a funk, then I meditate. So
Yeah.
for me, meditation resets my sort of my intention
Yeah.
for what I'm doing. It
Mhm.
helps me stay grounded and focused, and it helps me let go of anxiety.
Yeah.
So part of having PTSD is you get stuck in negative loops, negative
Yeah.
thoughts. So
Yeah.
it kind of cycles over and over again. And so that will break that for me. So it doesn't keep looping. That drives
Yeah.
me crazy.
Got
Negative
it.
loop thought.
And then he
Oh,
talked about, I know, and then he talked about lonely. That's like really something. I don't know if you go to Facebook, you will see what Scott Colby posted today that I shared on my page about loneliness.
I haven't even been
Sometimes
on Facebook yet. You're way ahead of me,
I
Gabby.
know, every morning I try to, because I have, and I'm in great groups, you know, we have the academy and we have, there is you, there is Stephanie, there is, and then I have other groups, and I get messenger like, you haven't been on my post, you haven't seen my posts a lot. So I get 10 minutes and then 10 minutes during the day and 10 minutes at night. Because otherwise you cannot do any work if you're like only on social media. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So he talked about it, his message. You have to read it. It's really, so I had to share it because there are a lot of people. It doesn't matter how many family members you may have, you can still feel lonely.
Oh
That
yeah.
is a huge, huge issue, even for youngsters, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely. And connection is huge.
Yeah,
Connection is how we actually, I mean, we're humans and we are meant to run in packs. So we need connection. We need connection to validate ourselves. We need
yeah,
connection to give to other people. You know, part of that kindness and compassion is
mm,
really about what you use that's just natural about yourself to give to someone else. I mean,
yeah,
that it's really huge. And I
yeah,
do think loneliness is that it is a cycle of you feel lonely, so then you don't feel your best, so then you're depressed, and then you feel like, well, I don't want to give this to anyone else, so I'm going to stay back. So you tend to self-isolate more and more. And
yeah,
sometimes it is just as easy as a phone call, or you go, if you don't have people, like sometimes people who have really isolated and feel like they have no one, then I'm like, go now that we're open, thank
mhm,
God, because COVID really taught us about how much connection is so important to us as humans.
absolutely. Yeah,
Now you can go back to, a coffee shop or the library and just be in the energy of other people,
yes,
can sometimes help. So, yes, loneliness is huge.
yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
then I remember like years ago, I was sitting with a bunch of friends. They're still my friends. We live in so many different countries, all of us now. But and then I was sitting. We were having so much fun. We were having a good laugh, and this yet deep down, I felt so lonely.
Yeah.
And then when I went home that night, I questioned myself. I have the best of friends, and I have a great job, great colleagues. Why am I feeling so lonely? I had no answer for that, but now
I
I
was going to say,
learned
what
that
did you come up with? What was your reason?
I have no idea. Well, I was single then to begin with. Even when I was married, there were still times that I feel like that, especially if you and your partner, you're not in the same you don't run in the same frequency. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
not like and on the same page. In like when it comes to spirituality, I was into books, he was not. I was into spirituality, he was just his, you know,
Yeah.
the one way thing. I was so we were different, so that also made me feel lonely, I guess. May he rest in peace. He passed away from cancer back into when my son was 8 when he passed away from cancer. But yeah, but even then, like I always felt different. I don't know why I felt it, even as a child, like growing up, I felt different. Um, and I felt lonely, although I am so lucky when it comes to friends. I don't have sisters, so God has like really blessed me with friends. Even now, as we speak, who would kick butt for me anytime. Honestly, that's how lucky I am. But still,
Yes.
deep down, there is that lonely feeling. So you're right about that connection. At least
Yes.
I can call one or two of them and let it out. But for me, it takes me several days for me to be able to call one of them to talk about it. I don't
Well, that's
immediately
so
open up. Yeah.
Of course, I want to put on my coaching hat right now and like coach you. I'm like, I have to pull back. There's been a few times where I'm like, oh, Gabby, let's explore that. It's really, I mean, I know for me in my previous marriage, it was one of the things that was the most debilitating is I felt so lonely and I couldn't understand because I was surrounded by my family. So my two kids and my husband, and I could not understand why am I not happy? Why do I
Yeah.
feel so alone all the time? And what I found in working with people too is that when we don't feel connected on a spiritual level to other people and we don't feel connected to ourselves, we constantly feel lonely.
Yeah.
And so usually it's an indication that something's going on the inside where you're just not fulfilled on some level, and like to pay attention to what is that, what's going on. But so interesting that you said it takes you a couple days to reach out to somebody. And I feel like, oh, that's exactly sort of what we were talking about in the beginning, which is this sort of like stigma about mental health and feeling lonely. Like we don't just immediately go, I need to hang out with somebody. Either we're not aware or we're like scared to reach out and be like, hi, what are you doing? You know, I'm lonely today.
I
You
know.
want to go get a cup of coffee?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. But even then, there are times I don't even talk about what's bothering me. I've always been like that, but now I am more open than I used to be. So I am very compassionate with people who have issues and they're shy or like afraid to ask for help. But I've always like was the type who would be smiling all day long and then would wet their pillow at night with tears before they go to sleep. That was the old Gabi. I know I'm getting emotional, but now I have learned, you and I both are like big fans of Dr. Wayne Dyer. May he rest in peace. His legacy will live forever. So
Yes.
from his teachings, from his books, from his videos, I have, by the way, DVDs that I purchased years ago. I watch it whenever I feel I need an uplift. That you don't have to wait for other people to make you happy. You know,
Right.
you have to work on yourself and be happy. So that's what I've learned. Like, you know, every time I feel down, I just go, I love babies. So I just go to YouTube and get a YouTube babies. It just uplifts me. Like, and no,
I've
seriously,
I've never thought of that. That's a great one.
anything like
I
comedy,
Yeah.
babies, toddlers, they act up, you know, like, and children in general. I only have one son, but I am crazy about kids in general. So I just go and do something that would switch that feeling immediately. So
Yes.
this is, yeah, so you have to find that thing that would immediately uplift your spirits.
I know I have found that through life, this is a very common theme where we
Mm-hmm.
all do this. Even myself is
Yeah,
we have this what I call representative, who we
yeah,
present to the world and we're happy and we put on the smile and nobody really knows what's going on the inside. And
yeah,
what we think is protecting us is
mm-hmm.
actually our prison.
Yeah,
So we think
absolutely.
this representative is protecting us from, oh, they're not going to have to deal with my depression or they don't have to deal with my mood right now. And really, that isolation becomes your prison where
It
you just
does.
live in this world that does not serve you anymore, and learning how to step out into your own and really lean into whatever it is that's going on for you,
Yeah,
shame, vulnerability, whatever it is,
yeah,
really lean into that and be like, this is who I am, this is what I'm dealing with. Oh my gosh, just in that, there's so much power. And like what you said, you learn how to be happy on your own
yeah,
without having anybody with
yeah,
you. And
yeah,
then it's just like when people are with you, it's the icing on the cake.
yeah, it does. It is. It is. Yeah. Let's talk about, okay, you've done
Okay,
all
let's
these
talk about.
certifications. Okay, so I want to know about the Soul's Assignment Club. Talk about that. What is that?
Yeah, this is my weekly coaching group. Every time I talk about it, I feel like people think I'm bragging. These people are so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I facilitate a group. Really, what's wonderful about a group is that it's not just me. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
just teaching a class. I'm not just, leading a webinar.
Mm-hmm.
This is a group of people. Most of them are empaths. You don't have to be an empath, though, to join the group. It's really for people who are feeling called to do more in their life or have been questioning, like, is this it? Is this it right now? And how do we navigate through that? So we really use this whole formula that I use, which is called the Apple Project, and that stands for we address all areas that are going on. We find some peace around those things. We provide power. We work on self-love, and then we execute a plan. So every 4 to 5 weeks, we're sort of working on new topics, bringing in things. We have an open forum where people come in and we do a little live coaching. We have special guests who come in and talk sometimes. It's a really beautiful group because even though some people are going through very different things, we either all have been through those things or are kind of going through those at the same time. So people get to really help other people and then learn through other people. And it's just absolutely beautiful to watch. It's actually free right now in the month of May. It's actually free for everybody who wants to try it. I'm just kind of like opening it up.
So is it on Facebook? It's a Facebook
No,
group?
it
No.
is. It's on a Zoom class or class.
Okay.
It's my class. It's a
So
group.
there is a link where people could go in. Maybe you can, I can share it with.
Yes, if you go to my website, so Cloud9, the number 9, Cloud9,
Life coaching. Okay, yeah, I have that. I have it. So they can find it there. Okay.
Yes, and there's a link there to join, or if you have questions about it, you can meet with me and I can go over.
Okay. Yeah, because I just the name of it just caught my attention. The Soul's Assignment Club.
Yes.
I love it. So that is that. So so what do you do? Cloud9 life coaching, what kind of coaching do you have, like different levels, or it's
different levels? I like that, like different levels. I haven't thought about it like that. I wouldn't say I do different levels, but I have 2 real main things I focus on, which is one is empaths, because I am an empath. And so I have the Empath Support Group. The other thing I really do is shame and vulnerability. So I really work a lot with that. In fact, I'm starting a new group in June that's going to be called Begin Again. And that is all dedicated to shame and vulnerability, since these 2 things really showed up in my life. And I felt like having other people to really feel and go through things with really helped in my, I want to say recovery, but sort of personal growth, and helping me realize I'm not alone, that there's other people who are experiencing shame and guilt over things, and how do we work through that? I mean, shame's a big one. So, you know, if you listen to Brene Brown or talk or read her books, you know, like there's a lot going on there with shame. So that's the new thing I'm leaning into, is really working with that, because what I have found is working with empaths and people who are really wanting to create transformation is that if you let go of shame and you really lean into vulnerability, this is how you find your worthiness. And when you find your worth, you create the most amazing transformations. So this is what I've learned through coaching, like my own experience as a coach is just, it's almost like the secret formula. I feel like this plus this equals this. So
equals that. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, letting go of shame plus leaning into vulnerability equals worthiness, which then creates transformation. So this is why I'm a transformation coach, because I do believe I was 40 something when I got divorced. And, you know, a lot of people were like,
can you not tell people that? Because I thought you were 28, 27.
I'm level 47.
Okay.
Yeah, level 47.
Okay. Honestly, like you don't look that age at all. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. And then the thing is that, so let me know if I am an empath.
Okay.
Number one, I am a big, I know my looks, don't everybody thinks I'm a snob when they meet me, especially in new jobs and things like that. Yeah, people before they get to know me, oh my God, look at her. Anyway, I don't know what's written in here, but anyway, so I'm a big softie. I love kids. I'm a crier. You tell me a sad story, I will cry. You tell me a beautiful, touching story, I will cry. I fight for people who cannot speak or defend themselves. And I love senior people, 70 and above, and children. Those are my weaknesses when it comes to people, because the rest unless they are disabled or like they have an issue like the depression they can take. But I have this compassion towards people who are lonely, especially because I was a volunteer. I said this to someone the other day. I was volunteering to seniors to find out how many of them are lonely, to the extent that they only need to talk to somebody. They don't have someone to talk to. I mean, like, it is so sad. So anyway, those and anybody who hurts children is definitely gonna get it from me. And yeah, so, and I can sense immediately, like I could even like through the screen, I could tell if someone is not in a good place right now.
Right. So have you taken the Are You an Empath quiz?
No.
Okay. So if anybody in here thinks that they might be an empath or are wondering if they're an empath, take the Are You an Empath quiz, because I did develop a quiz of like the top, I think it's 26, the top 26 things that working with empaths I heard in their stories. So I took the most common things and said, okay, let's see, do you have these things? So some of them would be, like, yes, some of the things that you're saying definitely are an empath. So there's a difference between being empathetic and being an empath.
Empath, yeah.
So in all honesty, only 2% of the population is actually an empath. That's very, very little. And people don't even know that. But I say, if you feel like, if you relate to the quiz, if you relate to what's happening in the Empath Support Group, it doesn't matter if you are actually a diagnosed empath or not. You're an empath. Come in, join the club, join the community, see what's going on in here, because this is how you navigate. This is how you not feel alone. This is how you create a community. This is how you actually grow as a person. So some of the most common things for empaths are putting others' feelings before their own.
So I've spent most of my life for others. So that's definitely me.
Okay, so we can teeter on being codependent as well. Most empaths are codependents. I am a codependent. Another common one is they have a lot of triggers. So because they can feel the energy really moving through, they can be triggered very easily. So empaths are actually born, like the scientific definition is, empaths are born with hypersensitive mirror neurons, which are the compassion neurons in your brain. So those compassion neurons literally are standing on end all the time. So this is why we feel so connected. So the difference really is between somebody who's empathetic can really feel like, oh, I feel like that, I can feel that would be horrible. I feel for that person. Whereas an empath actually feels in their body. So it's like they're having a physical response to the pain or suffering of another. So like if you were driving by a car accident, somebody who's very empathetic would feel like, oh my gosh, that car accident is horrible. Whereas an empath would really feel like that person's stuck in the car and they can't get out. So they would actually feel the physical responses of somebody else.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, that is that. And then, like sometimes not anymore, but I used to do home visitations for like clutter clearing and feng shui. Yeah. And I would stand at the entrance, I would stand and feel immediately, I feel there is negative energy or not negative energy in the place. Immediately, like I would have like all my hair would be standing up. I would feel it like on my shoulders. If there is like major, either there is arguments in the home, there is fights, or there's bad energy, like I would feel it. And some places I go, as soon as I stand, I feel so happy and light. I feel like there is love in this home. At least all they need is just to do a little things. Another gift that I have is I'm a Libra. So so Libras are very observant, right? So, and then if I tell you to be careful, don't do something, you better not do it because something bad happens. Honestly, this all my life. It's just like since I was young, if I don't want to go somewhere and my friends beg me and I say, no, I don't feel like it, something bad happens when they go, they come and tell me about it the next day. Another thing is I have a thing that wakes me up at 4:00 every morning.
Ooh.
My very first book, the idea came to me, woke me up at 4 a.m. in the morning. When
That's what I call that.
I woke, seriously. And then when my mom was dying. She was in a
Mm-hmm.
different country that I was. It woke me up
Mm-hmm.
at 4 a.m. in the morning. Everything that happened, or most of the things that I have done, it was at 4 a.m. waking up sweating with that thing in my mind. And my mom passed away 3 days later.
And that's not uncommon. Most people wake up sometime between, usually around 3:30. So sometime between 3 and 4.
And
Most people wake up for two reasons. One, this is when, to get out there, this is when spirits are most present, is at 3:30. It's why a lot of movies have made the witching hour as 3:30. So spirits are more present during that time. And the second, the like medical thing, is that your body is the weakest at 3, sometime between 3 and 4. So you usually wake up, you're easily startled, you can wake up from a dream. You usually wake up sometime between 3 and 4. Most people who pass in their sleep usually pass sometime between 3 and 4.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, do you follow Sadhguru?
No.
Oh my goodness gracious, you have to go to YouTube, type his name, you have to listen to him. So he said,
okay,
people who wake up between 3 and 5 in one of his videos those are spiritual people. If they wake up between 3 and 5. And he has something about
well, I was gonna say, you also have a hormonal shift between 3 and 4.
Oh.
For those of us who are women who are watching, you have a hormonal shift between 3 and 4.
I think I'm way past that right now, but yeah, it's a good point for all of those younger ones. Yeah, I am past that for now, but yeah, that's true. The hot flashes and God knows what. Anyway, horrible. So that's that. But you need to check out Sadhguru and listen to him, because you're spiritual. So the things that he talks about, oh my goodness, I love him. And okay, so tell me, who from the top spiritual leaders inspired you? I know Dr. Wayne Dyer. Who else?
Yes. Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love him. He's like, some people love him and some people don't. I absolutely love him.
I love him too. I love him too. I have his, yeah.
He just gives a more scientific approach sometimes, and
Yes.
I find that fascinating. I might have been a behavioral scientist at some point in another life, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fascinated by how the brain works and why we do certain things, and I love what he tells me. It's just, have you read Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself?
Not that one.
Oh,
no, I have
you
the
gotta
other
read this,
one.
Gabby. This one, Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself. This is
Okay,
what it looks
I
like,
think
everybody.
I have seen it, but I haven't bought it yet.
It is so unbelievably, it talks about a lot about quantum physics. It took me a while to read because I had to really process something and then sit back. I'd read it and then I'd have to sit back to process it for a while, and then I could jump back in. So those two men are my favorite. I love Brene Brown. She to me is so relatable, and she's so incredibly intelligent, but she makes her material in a way where everybody can understand it. And I love her. She's beautiful. Of course, for myself personally, my like guru her name was Betty Bethards, and so I have every single one of her books, and she's more of a local person here in Northern California. And I have all my books up here. I love like spiritual leaders. Gosh, that's a good one, because I have so many books, because there's a really beautiful book if you're coming off of religious. I do feel like there's a religious undoing when you're becoming spiritual and you're undoing religion, and it's called 3 Magic Words. I think I gave it to somebody because it's not up here. By U.S. Anderson, and it's really good about learning to shed the idea of what we think of as God and what does that mean. So that's a huge book for me. So those are like my top, and I know they're not
There's
all
a lot
famous.
more, I'm sure. Yeah. No, Dr. Joe Dispenza is famous.
Well, yes, he is. Dr. Joe
and so
and
Rene Brown.
Yes, those are my most popular ones that most people know about. So I love Don Miguel Ruiz. I use him a lot. I've read the 4 Agreements a few times. I go back
me
to that.
too. And the 5th, did you get the 5th agreement?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, he wrote another, it's called the 5th agreement.
Oh my gosh, I have to read it, because
I love him, yeah.
I just reread the 4 Agreements, because, you asked me earlier, what are some things that I do? So if I'm feeling out of sorts for a while, that's a book I go back to, because
Yeah,
it just
same here.
reminds me, it's like a 4-step system of how do you handle life? Oh, don't take that personally. Okay.
Okay.
I won't. Don't assume.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that. You like, it's a very simple
Simple,
thought
yeah,
process.
very
Yeah.
simple, but it's absolutely a beautiful book. And he wrote The Fifth Agreement. And
Okay.
actually, my dream was to go and attend one of his live, I don't know, seminars or something like that. I think he did in Mexico.
Oh,
A
wow.
few. That was my dream years ago, but I don't think that's going to happen now with all this whatever COVID or whatever.
Well,
But it's not going to happen. But that was my dream, to go at
yeah.
like spend a week, one of his week seminars and meditations and teachings and all that. So that was my thing. So I love that. So that's good. Okay, so if you have, who is your ideal client or
Ooh,
student?
my ideal client. My ideal client is really somebody who is ready to work, who believes in spirituality, so can kind of open their mind, even if they don't know how, or they're not sure how to use it. They're very open to spirituality, really willing to do some hard work. Like I do a lot of inner child work with people. I
Okay.
get in there, we work on things, and really wanting to make a big transformation in their life. You
Yeah.
know, when you have that moment where you're really asking yourself, what what is this it? Is this what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Then that's when you would want to reach out to me. Absolutely. I
Oh,
sat there for many days and thought, is this it? Is this all I'm gonna do? And no,
yes.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Okay. So do you have more females or more male
I
clients?
have more females, although I do have male clients as well. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
and this really goes back to the very beginning of this, which is mental health. And I am very passionate about men and mental health because the people I have lost to suicide have been men.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in society, it is much easier for women to talk about their feelings. We're not ridiculed from a very young age. We
Yeah.
are taught to cry and express how we feel, whereas young boys are told to, it's okay, toughen up, shake it off, really stuff their emotions. And so men are like, I think it's 82% more likely to kill themselves than women. So it is huge for men to talk. So
Yeah.
anytime a male coach wants to talk or come in, I'm like, oh, please spread the word,
Yeah.
because yes, I do believe reaching out is huge. So going with that, I have a few male clients. I have a few males
Nice.
in my group, and I have a few male clients. So I do work with both men and women. I just tend to have more women because women talk more about their feelings.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially for a female. Yeah,
Yeah,
female to female thing. That is so true.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to be posting your bio and all your social media links and your
Thank you.
website on the podcast and on
Thank
YouTube.
you.
And I have off the subject questions that I always ask people.
Okay, let's go.
I guess, okay, so the first one is, if you had to visit 3 countries before you die, 3 countries, not continents, not cities, 3 countries before you die, what countries would they be?
That's a great question because I haven't traveled a lot. So my list is probably very broad. I'd have to narrow it to three.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I would love to visit Europe because I've never been to Europe. So
Okay.
I would
Which country?
love,
Yeah, which country in Europe though?
I know, I have to think. So I was like, I had to narrow it down. It's like Europe, I would go like Italy. I would want to do a lot, like
Mm-hmm.
Italy. I'd want to do the big ones like Italy, Paris, but I would want to do some
So
other things
Italy,
too.
France, you only have one
Yeah,
more.
I only
Italy, France.
I only have one more. Okay. Well then we have to get out of Europe and let's go to um let's go somewhere more warm because I
Okay.
love the ocean. So I have to be somewhere warm and by the ocean. So let's go somewhere more south. Now I've got to think. I've been to Jamaica, which was so fantastic. Um, where else would I go that I haven't been? Um, Maybe I would go to somewhere like, where's Belize? I'm not good with geography. This is
No,
not
no,
my,
I don't know. What
okay,
is that?
let's
Yeah,
just
I've
say
never.
Belize because that's
Okay,
warm
Belize.
and tropical. I could go, yeah, we
Yeah,
could
I
go
have
there.
never been, so that's it.
Let's
But
go.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. My God. Okay. So you have France, you have Italy. You need like more than a week to go to those
Oh, yeah.
countries, like to go to those cities. So
Yeah, that means I need to take more vacations.
yeah,
I like this plan.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so another thing is the next question would be, if there is one dream that you always had, one dream that you want to fulfill before you die, one dream, what would it be? Yeah.
One dream before I die. Wow. That's a good one because I'm really doing that now. Like, I wanted to major in psychology. I probably went back to college 6 times. I went back so many times to finish my psychology degree because I wanted to be a therapist. So being a coach was definitely one of my dreams. One dream before I die. That is a big question, Gabby, because I can only pick one. Can it be anything?
Yeah, can
Can
I
I
simplify it
hear
for
something?
can I
Yeah,
simplify it
simplify
and
it.
tell you
Yeah.
mine?
Yeah, tell me yours.
So mine is, I've always wanted to be an accomplished pianist. So for me to become an accomplished pianist, to be able to play every song that I love on the piano would be my dream before I die. So I love
Ooh,
piano. That's it.
see, I was thinking like global level. I was like, could I cure something? I played the piano. I wanted to play the drums when I was little, but my mom made me play the piano. And so I don't share that passion with you because I'm like, oh, the piano. I have a love-hate relationship with the piano.
Yeah.
I love it, but then I'm like, oh, I had to play the piano. That would be fun. What if I could? It would be so cool to learn the drums and then play in a rock band like one night, like a one night concert. That
Oh
would be
my
so fun.
goodness.
If I
So
could
cool.
do that, that would be so fun. My youngest daughter and I picked up the ukulele during COVID. We were trying different things. And so we were learning to play the ukulele.
Mhm.
I think everybody hated us because we were
Oh,
like all the time just you
yeah.
have to learn chords, so you do the
Yeah.
same sound over and over. And my
Yeah.
family was like, "Are you guys done yet? You guys done practicing?
Yeah.
Or could you play another song? Because we're
Yeah.
just tired of that sound and that."
Yeah.
So maybe one day that'd be
Yeah,
fun.
bad drum. Yeah, you know Queen Latifah, right? The actress
Yes.
singer. She said her stress reliever was drumming.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and then she had a video for her drumming after she had a very busy long day, which was very stressful. She says she just goes into her drums, she would drum, and she is amazing. She said this is the number one stress reliever for me. So it is anything to do with music, any kind of music anyway is good. A
I do
stress
love
reliever.
music.
Yeah,
I love music.
yeah,
Yes. Oh,
same here.
love music.
Same here.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to go to a concert again. I cannot wait to hear live music. Oh,
I know.
love live
I don't know
music.
how long that is going to be. We need to pray. We need
I
to
know.
pray and picture this stupid COVID is gone and life is normal, where we can go attend concerts, where we could go meet our friends at a nice restaurant, where we could go to the movie theaters and to the library, sit down when we don't feel like talking, or this, sit down at the library. That's one thing I miss, by
Right.
the way. Sit down and read or do some work or some writing. Let's just meditate for that as a group. Maybe you should do a group meditation thing. I think
I
that,
have thought about that.
yeah.
Ooh, I just thought of an, can I have two at the end? Can I write a book too? I would like to write a book. If I could write a book by the time I die, I would love that.
Oh my God,
That's
you
a
can,
goal.
why do you, that is not like, you can do that like by end of June, you can do it.
I love that. I don't have time right now, but that is
Yes.
definitely a goal. I've always wanted to be a writer. I was writer of my class my junior year in high school. I love writing, so
Okay,
that would
listen,
be yeah.
Jack Canfield said in one of the programs he did with Dr. Michael Beckwith and Bob Proctor, called The Science of Getting Rich. He said, if you write one page a day, just one page a day, by the end of the year, you have 365 pages.
I
And
just have to decide
nobody,
when.
nobody has time to read 365 pages. Like my latest book is 121 pages. If I see a book this thick, I just get put off immediately because it has to be beneficial, small, 120, 130, 150 maximum pages. Hey, you've got an editor and a formatter here, right here.
I'll know who to call.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
I'm ready.
Yeah, but 1 page a day. Make it a goal, and
I
yeah.
have to pick a topic. That's I'm not sure yet.
You have this bio, and then you don't know what topic to. Okay, you and I need to talk offline.
Okay.
We
There you
will
go.
talk offline. So, any last word before we close?
Really, honestly, just sort of what we've talked about, which is that I want everyone to really know you are one decision away from changing your whole life. So, really think about that when you're feeling super down, or maybe you're really happy. And what's the next step you're going to take? Like, it's just one decision. So let go of shame, lean into vulnerability, and find your worth.
Oh my
This is
God,
my
that's
last word.
beautiful. I was so blessed having you on my podcast, and I would love to have you again sometime soon, especially when you have published your book very soon. And yeah, so everybody, I will be posting Michelle's bio and all her social media and her website link on Podbean as well as on YouTube. Get in touch with her. She is incredible. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and wishing you grace, peace, and balance. God bless. Take care. Oh, that's not what I'm supposed to do.